Welcome to section 3 of our project communications management. In this section, we're going to be discussing monitor communications. We're going to be looking at how to monitor the communications in your project as a project manager. So let's jump in. Now, a quick overview of this process, which is monitor communications. In this section, this process is vital for evaluating and ensuring that project information needs are met and stakeholder expectations are properly addressed. Okay? It involves systematically reviewing and collecting feedback on project communications throughout the project life cycle. Remember, initially we emphasized on the importance of getting feedback from your communications. Okay, so here you're going to be reviewing those feedbacks that you are collecting throughout the project life cycle. And by the end of this section, you should be able to understand the purpose and importance of the monitor communications process. You'll be able to identify the inputs, tools and techniques, as well as the outputs of this process. Then you'll learn how to adapt communication strategies to evolving project needs. Okay, so that's it. Let's jump into the meat of the matter. Now, what's the purpose of the monitor communications process? The primary purpose is to ensure that communications are effective and align with the communications management plan. Now, the communications management plan is the grand plan for all communications throughout your project. Okay, so you want to ensure that the communications align with what you have in this plan. Now, by monitoring communications, the project team can identify potential issues, assess stakeholder satisfaction, and adjust the communication plan as needed. Okay, that's why it's important to monitor. If you don't monitor, you cannot make necessary adjustments, cannot know when things are going wrong. Okay, so monitoring and communication is very important. Okay, so what are the inputs in this process? Firstly, you have the project management plan, which is the grand plan for our project, and then of course the communications management plan, which provides the foundation for monitoring activities. Okay, so we're working with the communications management plan inside the project management plan, okay, to get guidance on what activities are involved in monitoring communications. Now, you also have project documents, okay, documents related to stakeholder engagement and feedback, like the stakeholder register, the issues log, and all that. So these are important documents that serve as inputs in this process. And you also have the work performance data, and this is information on the performance of communication activities. Okay, so at every point in time you need to have information on what's going on, the performance, the status of the project, so you can know what information is needed at that particular time. Okay, now you have issue log, documenting and tracking issues related to project communication. So this is a document where you have all the issues that are related to communications in the particular projects. Okay, if you have issues with information getting to the right stakeholder on time, all right, maybe there's a delay in the process, so that should be logged in. Okay, the stakeholder didn't quite understand the information, if it was not clear, it was not coherent enough, that goes to the issues log. The information was not relevant to the particular activity that the stakeholder is supposed to be doing, that goes into the issue log. So all issues related to communication as far as your project is concerned goes into the issue log. Okay, now you also have organizational process asset. These are historical information on communication effectiveness. So in the company archive or the information storehouse of the performing organization, you should have historical information about how communications have been done in the past with past projects and which method was effective, right, and how it was done. So from there you could adopt some processes that could help in the current project that you're working on. Okay, so let's look at the tools and techniques used for monitoring communications. Firstly, you have data analysis. Now this involves analyzing communication data to identify trends and or issues. Okay, analyzing communication data to identify trends or issues. So as the communication is going on, you have to analyze. All right, you're getting feedback, you're taking your records, doing your reporting. So you have to be analyzing all this data to identify the trends, how the communication is going, all right, or whatever issues that are coming up as far as communication is concerned, as far as information dissemination is concerned with this particular project. So you have communication methods, and this involves assessing the effectiveness of various communication channels. So like we've already established, there are various communication channels, and they all come in different forms and formats, all right, with different levels of effectiveness, okay, depending on who is using it and for what you are using them. Okay, so you have to assess different communication channels. All right, is it going to be email? Is it going to be chat based? Is it going to be phone call, face to face, or using any of the technology that we have available? All right, so you analyze these various channels to know the effectiveness of each one. Stakeholder analysis, understanding stakeholder expectations and satisfaction. So from your stakeholder register, you know your various stakeholders. Okay, so you have to analyze them to understand what their expectations are. Okay, expectation in terms of information that they require. Okay, because we're talking about communications now, right? And then of course, when they get those information, you also have to gauge their level of satisfaction with the quality of information that they are getting. All right, and that's why feedback is necessary. And you have feedback systems. These are systems for These are systems established for stakeholders to provide feedback. All right, the place of feedback in communication cannot be overemphasized. Communication is a two-way street. All right, it's not a monologue. So when information goes out to a particular stakeholder, feedback is necessary, and those feedback must be monitored, all right, for what they contain. And that could help in adapting to changes. That could help in making necessary changes and adjustments, and also even adapting to changes where necessary. Okay. All right, so what are the outputs of this process? Firstly is the work performance information. information on how communications are performing. So this is also very necessary. Okay, helps you know, okay, how we're doing as far as information dissemination is concerned. So work performance information, it's an output here. Change requests. These are updates to the communications plan or other project components based on monitoring results. Okay, from time to time you're going to have to make changes. All right, so during the process of your work performance analysis, you're going to identify those areas where changes are required, and of course make requests for those changes and updates to the various documents of any of the processes that you have. Project management plan updates. Now this involves modifying the plan based on the evaluation of communication effectiveness. So throughout the project life cycle, you're evaluating how effective the communication has been, how effective the channel has been, how effective the format has been. Okay, so as you evaluate this, it helps you to modify the project management plan. Of course, what you are modifying or updating in the project management plan is actually the communications management plan, because that one is included in the project management plan. Okay, so what takeaways can we get from this discourse so far? Monitoring communications. Now, monitoring communications is crucial for maintaining stakeholder satisfaction and adapting communication strategies to evolving project needs. Okay, so it's very important. You have to keep monitoring the communications that are going on within the project. All right, so this can help you keep your stakeholders engaged, help you know when they are satisfied, okay, and also help you in adapting to evolving project needs. Regular assessments ensure that the project team remains responsive to stakeholder concerns and engaged in effective two-way communication. So you can see that communication is a two-way street, is a two-way a game or process. Okay, information goes out, feedback comes in. Right, information goes out, feedback comes in, and that feedback has to be analyzed for any issues or adjustments that need to be made. All right, so that brings us to the end of this week's discourse, and of course this model, the project communications management. Hope you've learned a lot and you are well equipped for effective communications as a project manager in the execution of your projects. Okay, so see you in the next model in the next week. For now, cheers.